So marathon race day has arrived. It's that morning when you wake up. All the training that you've done for weeks and months suddenly is ready to sell itself to you during the 26.2 miles. Well, you've tapered, you've had some good food and slept well hopefully all week. So now you're ready to have a final good breakfast. You're going to graze on it, I hope, for maybe an hour rather than try and bolt it down, because if you graze over the breakfast, you're actually probably absorb more of the nutrients, more of the carbohydrates. A final chance to get those blood sugars up, get the carbohydrate stores topped up again. You have your shower, you grab your kit, hopefully that's all been packed and organised, your travel's all sorted, and off you go. Really, you should get to the start area of the marathon a good 90 minutes or so before the race is due to kick off. You're now organised, you can make sure your number, your kit's ready, you can join the queues to the loos because it's inevitable you're going to have to do that. And you just want to relax. I would take some warm gear with you. You never know how much you're going to get cold just by doing less. I would take some snacks with you, and right up until about an hour before the race, I would be grazing on little bits of energy bar or carbohydrate just to keep my blood sugar levels high. I might have a little coffee or an espresso about an hour before, because I know that's what I normally do before my long runs. That's up to you. Make sure you've practiced it. And essentially, you follow the routine you normally have before your best long runs and your previous races. You follow that routine now up to the start of your marathon. In that final hour, I wouldn't warm up. The marathon's all about you protecting your energy stores and having energy at 23, 24, 25 miles. So I would use the first few minutes of the race as your warm-up. So here we are, you jump into the pen, you've dropped your kit off, final 10 minutes before the gun goes. If you're doing the London Marathon or one of the marathon majors, a helicopter will be in the air. It's time to film the crowds, and you're going to feel like a bit of a celebrity yourself in that pen with all the other thousands of runners on the same journey as you. Well, it's very easy at this stage to start talking yourself out of the goal you had. You probably always believed that you were capable of doing 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Suddenly when you're in that pen, the gremlin gets on your shoulder and it will start to say to you, are you really capable of doing this? Can I really make it all the way through at that pace I've trained at? Am I good enough? The simple answer is you've tapered, you've done the training. Remember your 3 best long runs perhaps. Remember your best training weeks. Take only the positives with you into the race and create a bit of a protective bubble around you. The gun goes. It's really easy to get carried away at this point. I'd almost take a step backwards before you go forwards, and I'd use the first 2, 3, 4 miles to just ease my way into my race pace. Then, as the race develops from there, I'm in my race pace and I'm on my routine and strategy. If I normally take a gel every 30 to 45 minutes, I do exactly the same. Maybe I carry the gels with me because that way I can keep the routine going. I can take the gels I like. I sip water every now and then because that's what I'm used to, but I don't overdrink. Be very careful with that. You only need a little bit, and a little bit often, rather than lots and lots. Be careful. So, Cutty Sark if it's London, or 10 miles, or 10k or so if it's another race. Very easy to feel great at 10k when you're in your marathon race, because you've trained for something longer, you feel strong, and there's a danger that the crowds or wherever you are will lift you and you'll start to pick up the pace. Cutty Sark in London, a lot of people pick up the pace. It's that moment when the hairs are on the back of the neck, the crowd are close to you and you go a little bit too quick. Then we move on to Tower Bridge or halfway for other marathons. This is where again you're still feeling good, you're still feeling strong. The crowds are really good normally at halfway points in a marathon, and suddenly you pick up the pace again. Slow down, stick to your plan. You're not halfway really. The marathon begins at 20 miles, and we always say to our runners, halfway is closer to 20 miles or 30k. Your aim now is to get to 30k, 20 miles in control, feeling strong. Yes, you're working, but you're ready to then attack the final 10k on race day. So when you get to that point, now you've got to believe. Now you've got to believe in those 3 long runs that were the best ones you did. Now you've got to remember the reason why you're doing this marathon. Now you've got to believe in your fitness. Perhaps dedicate every mile in the final 10k, the final 6 miles, to someone special, someone you won't let down. Perhaps it's time to get your relatives at certain points in the course that you can look forward to seeing them. If you're feeling good, and if you've got the pacing right, actually what happens in the last 6 miles is you up the effort levels and you work even harder to either maintain the same pace, and on some occasions you start to pick up a little bit, and we see what we call a negative split. So in fact you'll run quicker than you started at the end. Whatever you do in the final mile or so of the marathon, enjoy it. It's a real moment to celebrate. It's a moment where all the achievements come together and you are a real marathon runner at 23, 24, 25 miles in the race. Savour it, enjoy it. Yes, you're working. Come over the line, wipe your face, get a great photo, and then enjoy getting the goodie bag and celebrating afterwards. But make sure you have a strategy for your marathon and make sure you're really patient when that gun goes off. The marathon begins at 30k or 20 miles. Good luck.